Alright guys, I definitely did not expect to be making this video today, but of course this morning we got the announcement that Sirens Curse is coming to Cedar Point next year. This was one of the most out of left field announcements I've ever seen in my life, and there will be 3 parts to this video. One of them will sort of be a brief history about how this actually got here. 2 will be an actual analysis of the ride itself. And then 3 is what this could imply for the future of Cedar Point. So to start off, a lot of people are looking at this and going, yep, this is Six Flags Mexico's tilt coaster. And yeah, it is. You look at the 2 layouts side by side and they're the same. And of course, Mexico got their tilt coaster from Energylandia, which was going to get a tilt coaster, but obviously that didn't happen. So now it's over here at Cedar Point, and it's so bizarre watching this massive tilt coaster, 160 feet tall, get juggled between 3 parks, 3 pretty major parks too. Obviously, Six Flags Mexico isn't the biggest thing in the world, but still. And of course, this all had to do with the new merger. Cedar Point probably found an opportunity to pick up this ride because of a reason I'll get to in the third of this video. And would this be a better fit at Six Flags Mexico? I mean, obviously, they need this a lot more than Cedar Point, but obviously there are reasons for it, which again, I'll get to later. But now let's actually get into this ride. So Sirens Curse, that is a very weird name, but I actually kind of like it. It sort of reminds me of Wrath of Rakshasa, in terms of like the actual main part of the name, like Rakshasa and Sirens is what everyone's going to call it. I don't think anyone's going to call it Sirens Curse. I'm definitely just going to call it Sirens, but I know it sounds a lot better for marketing and all of that. And I do like the lore behind this, how you got the monsters and the sirens or whatever down in Lake Erie, and this is right beside it. I would like if this went over the water, but I know that's probably extremely hard to do, especially since this was a layout designed for another park. But anyways, it'd still be really nice. The queue itself doesn't look like it'll have any theming as well as the ride, which kind of sucks. I thought this could have definitely had some good theming given how the storyline would kind of lend to it. But I get this was a very last minute decision, so I definitely respect why it doesn't really have much theming at all. Who knows, maybe they'll add some later. But for now, this is what we got. We've got a raw layout, and this raw layout looks so much better than a lot of people are giving it credit for. I know most people in my group chat are kind of saying it's going to be a good, not great ride. I would be shocked if this isn't top 4 in the park, including Top Thrill 2. This definitely looks better than Top Thrill 2 in my opinion. And then in terms of better than Steel Vengeance and Maverick, because if you know me, this definitely isn't beating Magnum, not even close. Maverick, I don't think it will. I don't think I can completely rule it out, but it's very unlikely. And then Steel Vengeance, which is my number 3 in the park, I think it's right up there with it. I wouldn't be surprised if it beats it. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't beat it. But I think it's right up there with it. This could definitely be a top 15 coaster for me pretty easily. And a lot of that depends on the vests. I've never done one of these new gen Vekomas with the vests, but I hear they're a lot better than the B&Ms. So if that's the case, then this could be better than Steel Vengeance for me, because this layout looks amazing. Of course, you've got that tilt track, which looks incredible. Obviously, most people have not experienced that, because the only one's at Leap How Adventure. And the tilt track actually looks really cool. I think this drop, if anything, will feel more like Falcon's Fury than a normal roller coaster drop, because, yeah, you're going to be facing straight down already. So I have a feeling this definitely will feel a lot more like Falcon's Fury than a normal Vekoma drop. But that's still really cool. A shorter version of Falcon's Fury is definitely a good first drop. And it looks like halfway down you could get some disgusting laterals. Of course, the vests might be necessary because of this and a few other elements. Because, yeah, you definitely will get some whip on this, I have a feeling. And then you hit this nice, sustained-looking ejector camelback. And again, on the exit of this, you should get some more really good laterals. And then you've got one of the 2 high-speed Heartline rolls. I'm not going in expecting this to be the Mosasaurus roll. But, you know, if it is, I wouldn't be too surprised because this looks really aggressive. And then you've got sort of this twisted triple down. You got an outer banked one, you've got a twisted one, and then just a straight drop down. This looks like it should give some really good airtime in the back. And then you've got another absolutely disgusting element for laterals by the looks of it. It's this sort of inclined non-inverting loop is the best way to describe it, I feel like. I don't really know how else to describe it, but it definitely looks like a non-inverting loop. Definitely a lot better than Hollywood Rip Ride Rockets, but definitely not as good as DC Rivals. Somewhere in the middle, probably. Get some really good laterals and airtime. Then you got another twisted hill, followed by another really fast-looking heartline roll, followed by another wave turn, and then a few more S-hills going into the brakes. So as you can tell, it's a very airtime-packed layout, and in particular, a lot of airtime lateral combinations, which, if you know me, I love those. Most of my favorite elements combine airtime and laterals, unless it's just pure disgusting violent ejector like Magnum or Air Force One's finale. But yeah, I love me some good airtime lateral combinations, and it looks like that is this ride's specialty. And the more I look at it, the more I say, man, this looks like it could be better than Maverick if it didn't have the vests. Unfortunately, I do think it'll hold it back from being as good as Maverick, but we'll see. I mean, this looks like an amazing layout. However, this does make me question Top Thrill 2, because obviously I do think the plan was to give it to Mexico. I don't think it was ever in the plans to give it to Cedar Point until a few months ago. This definitely was a very last-minute decision, and obviously this would not be happening if Top Thrill 2 was a success. But, of course, Zamperla screwed up like I thought they would, and it's not open. And obviously you could see that they're trying to get it open, because you see Top Thrill 2 running in the animation for this ride. However, I think Cedar Point definitely knows it's a possibility that Top Thrill 2 won't ever open again, which would really be a shame if this ended up being like Ring Racer, where it only opened for a few days. Obviously, it did not go out in the same fashion as Ring Racer. That would definitely put Cedar Point in a deeper hole than they're in right now. And yes, I'm aware of the fact that Six Flags Mexico didn't have the right permits or whatever for it, but still, they could have sent it to any other Six Flags or Cedar Fair park, and they decided to send it to Cedar Point, which I think tells you a lot about what could potentially be in store for Top Thrill 2. So let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.